Aloha, you're watching F5 On Demand. I'm Peter Silva and we're in beautiful Barcelona for Mobile World Congress. We're in Hall 5, booth G11. If you're at the show, come on by and see us. One of the topics we're talking about this week is NFV and how it pertains to service providers. And I got a good buddy of mine, Senior Technical Marketing Manager Frank Yu. How you going, Frank?
I'm doing great, Peter. It's great being here.
We usually see each other in the States, so it's kind of fun to see you on the other side of the world, huh?
Isn't it lots of fun? We go to this other place on the opposite side of the world and just randomly meet up in the hotel and these trade shows.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this NFV stuff, and particularly how it pertains to service providers. And so I know a lot of people are familiar with SDN, and there is some correlation between SDN and NFV, isn't there?
Absolutely. So SDN was started out years ago to really create this separation and virtualization of the control plane and the forwarding plane for the network world. And what we decided is, from a service provider model, we started looking at, well, SDN is good for the network, but what do we do for the services and applications? We need to start virtualizing and creating an infrastructure to support the virtualization of these services for these networks, and that's what NFV is all about.
And so how are service providers implementing NFV within their infrastructures, and what benefits do they get from it?
So NFV is really designed about creating what we call these VNFs, virtual network functions, or virtualized functions of these components within the service provider network. This might be a firewall, a load balancer, it could be service provider specific component like a call forwarding function or diameter router. And what they want to do is they want to virtualize the functions because they need that flexibility and scalability. Really, I'm going to use two terms here: agility and elasticity. These are cloud terms to really develop that, bring services to market, and to give that on-demand resourcing necessary that you want in the environment that we have today for the service providers, and NFV is creating that architecture.
And so within an enterprise using SDN, and that's helping manage data traffic within the enterprise network, and then NFV within the service provider network not only helps manage the regular data traffic, but also then mobile traffic too. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, it's helping drive that mobile traffic and steer that mobile traffic and give that scalability and flexibility. Because what we see with the service providers now, and as you can see, especially with these mobile providers, like we're here at Mobile World Congress and we're talking about them, is there's a huge growth in data traffic on the mobile networks as we have now 4G, LTE networks, and we're even talking about 5G networks that are coming up. And the amount of data is coming in bucket loads to these service providers, and they need a way to properly manage and scale that traffic appropriately. So they need to be able to have a flexible infrastructure to scale that traffic. And it's not just from a data packet-based perspective, but they need to do it at the services level because that's what they're delivering. They're delivering services related to that traffic. They're optimizing the traffic, they're steering the traffic to other solutions, they're optimizing the delivery of that content to the subscribers. So they need really that flexible cloud-like architecture within their core environment to deliver that flexibility and scalability that we need to meet this demand.
And so where does F5 and F5 solutions fit within a service provider's NFV network?
So the great thing about F5 is that we have these VNFs, these virtual network functions, these software versions of our solutions and products. We've been doing that actually for many years. We've been doing it for over 4 years, where we've been virtualizing our products and solutions with the same look and feel as our physical solutions. Yep. So we've been doing that for a long time, and now what we've done is we're taking this concept of this virtualized function, this VNF, and we're applying now the other components necessary for NFV to be properly managed. And that includes having the open APIs, the RESTful APIs so that you can make calls from third-party systems into these things to really orchestrate these elements together. And that's the other big piece, is the orchestration. How do you manage all these components and these multiple vendors? Because it's not just going to be F5, but all these components and bring that NFV architecture overall. And with F5's products, with our ADC type products, with our load balancing and other technologies, and then our service provider specific functions where we have our PCEF function, our diameter router, our DNS solutions, our SGI firewall, these all come together to really build a nice, great, flexible infrastructure for that mobile service provider.
And then we would just sit in those various strategic points within the service provider's network as our virtual editions, providing the functionality that we normally do.
Exactly, that's correct. And one important thing to keep in mind is that ADC, that load balancing technology that F5 is known for and that we are experts in, that is key for NFV, because when we talk about virtualized functions, we're going to have to load balance and scale all these other functions, even if F5 doesn't provide the function or solution ourselves. Right. They need the load balancing and scalable technology and that cloud technology to enable those functions to work in that cloud environment, and that's what F5 delivers.
Pretty cool stuff. We hear a lot about it, and I work a lot on the core side, and so coming to a service provider show is actually quite fun and enlightening for me. I appreciate your time, Frank. You're going to be a couple more videos this week, ain't you?
Absolutely. I'll be happy to do anything with you, Pete. You know that.
Thanks a lot, Frank. Always good seeing you. Appreciate it. So a little bit more about the Network Function Virtualization, NFV, and how it pertains to service providers. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Pete.
So, good buddy Frank, we've known each other for a while. I got Michelle behind the lens, her first job holding the camera. Nice job, Michelle. I'm Peter, and we're with F5 Networks. Thanks for watching.